Hey guys, what up? Coming to you from the Berlin Wall in, where are we at? Gießen. Yeah, we're in Gießen, Germany. And I want to do a quick video about a question I get from time to time, which is, should I be on the breath as I'm doing X, as I'm doing any given activity? And a little bit of a nuanced point, so bear with me here. First thing I want to talk about is activities that are hard to do while in the state of presence, but that are worthwhile to do. So obviously some activities are a lot easier to do while on the breath. For example, if you're just going for a walk in the forest by yourself, it's gonna be pretty easy to be with the breath, as you go on your hike. But as you come across someone on the path or whatever, and you make eye contact or you start to talk with them, it's gonna be really easy to just lose your focus. You're just gonna be your energy is basically gonna escape you a lot of the time. This is for a real reason. We're programmed to allocate a lot of our mental resources towards determining whether someone is a threat or a friend, especially a stranger, right? So it's natural that we would lose our attention more readily in those situations. Same thing with looking at screens, as I've talked about in other videos. Oftentimes we're looking at representations of other people on the other end of the screen, so it's just more difficult to stay present during that activity. So there are certain things that are going to be a lot harder to be on the breath during than others. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be on the breath during them though, even though it can be distracting at first, trying to be on your breath as you're talking with someone or whatever. It just takes practice, but you can actually learn to do it. And the most important thing is to really just focus on snapping back to the breath as you're done with whatever activity that might make you fall off, right? So make it your default state, make mindfulness your default state, as John Kabat-Zinn would say. And that's really the point. So whether you're really on the breath for any given activity isn't so important, just to make it your default state, because you will inevitably fall off, regularly. But yeah, so some things are worth being on the breath for, but they're a little bit difficult to do. So just muscle through them, develop that higher level of concentration that you can stick with it. Some things, however, are probably best that you do not on the breath. And notably, what I'm talking about here are flow state activities. If you read the book Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, or whatever his name is, he talks about this. He defines flow. Well, first of all, he's one of the founders of positive psychology, which is the late for a bus. We gotta walk and talk. Positive psychology is basically the study of what makes us happy, not only the study of what alleviates suffering, right? So really interesting field of psychology. And he says that basically when you're in a flow state, that is when you're doing something that has a clearly defined goal, when you get instant feedback as to whether what you're doing is good or not, and when your skills are closely matched to the challenge, then that's really when you're happiest out of all the other activities you're doing. So if you're lucky enough to experience these flow state activities, you're not going to have anything else going on in your head during that time. So one of the main points of continual breath awareness is to basically block out thoughts as you're doing other activities, right? To withdraw power from these otherwise destructive thoughts. So if you are lucky enough to experience flow state activities, you don't have to be on your breath during that time. So definitely check out that book. Most people aren't lucky enough to really experience flow state activities on a regular basis. So if you are, good for you. But if not, yeah. So you don't always have to be on your breath, It can be nice to be on your breath during the vast majority of things, and I think it probably is beneficial for most people. But anyway, gonna get on this train. Hopefully that helped you. Thanks for watching, and talk to you next time.